Hi everyone, hope everyone's doing okay and everyone can see what I've got on my screen. And good evening, welcome to tonight's live stream. So tonight's live stream, we're returning back to our Zombies Ate My Neighbours remake, and we're continuing where we left off prior. I think the last time we went on this was actually on the anniversary stream, I think. When it made like art assets I didn't like and things went all wrong. It went all bad, but never mind. We're going to fix some things tonight. I think, well, we've got a few options available to us, and I'm going to put it to a vote to everyone that's watching. What would you like to see done next to this thing? So, if you're new joining us, every 4 weeks or so, we've gone back to this game and trying to make a Zombies Ate My Neighbours remake, which is a Genesis and Mega Drive game and SNES game. Sorry, um, dealing with zombies and having to save neighbours, which you find around your level. So you find all your neighbours. That one's gone already. And when you've got them all, if I've got them all, the exit opens and you can then exit the level. So what kind of thing would you like me to go over? Now I've got a few things I could do. I could do working on the player character and his animations with the shooting. I can do some models, like do some modelling with the gun and the soda cans, because we've got soda cans as well, which we can then throw. Maybe just a cylinder, but we can work on that. And we can work on maybe the particle effect for that, to make it like a proper splash sort of area effect sort of thing. We could do that. Or we could do like animation retargeting with our player character, with another character from Mixmo or something. Up to you guys, really. What bits do we want to focus on next? Do you want to see models and artwork, or animation retargeting, or just animation in general for the major player character? Yeah, let us know what we want to go through tonight. And yeah, I've got chat up on my other window, so I will answer some questions as we go through. If I do miss your question, apologies. It's literally just because my eyes are down on the other screen. So just keep saying it until I see it. So, for example, Doomlead is asking if I'm ever going to do a series of action RPG series. Yeah, I mean, what kind of action RPG do you have in mind? Give an example of a game that you have in mind. But in the works for 2020, I will be doing a series on Japanese RPGs and turn-based combat, as well as melee combat focused AI stuff. That's all coming next year. Yeah, so we can work on making the soda can look cool with the particle effects and so forth. We can start working on that. Hang on, let's just fix this problem we've got here. So I've got an error. If I click on this link here, it takes to the error. And it's saying that this sometimes returns as false. It's fine, because I can just drag this up here and check if it's valid or not. And make it just go through the motions if it is valid. If it's not valid, I can do a finish execute, but make it not successful. So it'll cancel out the current task in the behavior tree. And that'll get rid of that error. Hopefully. Yeah. So yeah, we could do some player animation stuff. Show you how to do animation retargeting, because we're probably going to have to do something like that. Let me just grab a file or something we can use for our main character. I'm not the best modeler, so I'm not going to model a character. So I'll just nick one from Mixamo. And show you how to whilst I'm doing this, I can also show you how to fix some animations from Mixamo as well, because sometimes they come in a bit broken for Unreal. Okay. Let's find Mixamo. Does everyone know what Mixamo is? I'll bring it down so you can see what I'm doing. So Mixamo is a free animation software from Adobe, or say software's website, and you can click on download characters and animations. There's a boy character I can use for this, so suit us just fine. So I can make this my main character. Okay. Hang on, let me get chat back up. So also Doom Lead, I'm also in 2020 going to be doing an ability system similar to like Diablo or World of Warcraft, where you've got different spells you can cast and things like that. So that will be coming. So I like this character. So I'm going to download him and download. There he is. And I want some animations. So I could use the anim starter kit if I wanted to, or I can find some in here. So I'll go into shooter, because sometimes he'll be holding a gun, sometimes he won't be. So I need both animations for gun and not gun, which I could probably use from the anim starter pack. So we'll try doing that from there. Let's make a new folder for this character. And let's import that thing. Okay, so importing mesh, it's a skeletal mesh, and we don't have a current skeleton, so we'll leave that as is and click import. Okay, so we've got, yeah, okay, fine. So we've got a few things going on with this model, and it's annoyingly made, but let's have a look what we're dealing with. Meanwhile, I'm going to add the anim starter kit to, where is it? There's our project. Okay, so let it compile for shaders for a sec so I can see what it actually looks like. Doom Lead, it'll probably be closer to Smite. I don't know, I haven't played Dragon's Dogma, so I would assume it's more closer to Smite, where you have set actions and abilities that you can trigger on key presses or button clicks. So this dude, so animation retargeting we'll be using. Oh, by the way, the reason why is that his skeleton, all this, does not match the skeleton that's going to come with the animation starter kit. Okay, so we need to go in and edit this so it can fit with that animation system. Now, the very first thing it's going to need is a root, which is annoying, but we can work on that. Well, we'll see if we can get away without using the root. I don't think we'll be using any root motion, so we can get away with it probably. But nonetheless, we can add it after if we need to. So animation starter pack is now in the game. Okay, so first thing that I need to do is go into the animation pack for the anime starter pack, find the mannequin and its skeleton. I then want to go to the retarget manager, either through the tab here or the button here, and go to setup rig, and you want to change it to be using a humanoid rig, because it is a humanoid. And that should do it. It should, it's always too small, that thing. So you can see here, it links up the bones of the skeleton up with these names, okay? So obviously the UE4 mannequin will match it perfectly. We don't need to do anything on here. Just need to make sure it's set to do this. The next task is to go to our other skeleton, go to its retarget manager, and this bit is the most boring bit. Go to select rig, select humanoid rig, and you can try clicking auto map, but auto map is always broken. It never works. For example, it says pelvis is equal to head to top, which does not make sense. So we need to go through every single bone and link it to what bone it is of the other mesh. So it's a bit long-winded. So my root, you see, this is where it's broken. The root doesn't exist. So if I go hips here, make them the same, it might fix it. So spine 1 would be this one. Spine 2 is this one. This is the boring bit. I hate doing this. Left clavicle, left shoulder, correct. Upper arm, it's not a pinky, it's a left arm. Lower arm, left forearm. Oh, left hand. Right shoulder is correct. Upper arm is right arm. Right forearm. Right hand. Neck is neck. Head is head. Thigh is left up leg. And calf L is left leg. Foot is left foot. And thigh right. Right up leg. Right leg. Right foot. Okay, so that's the basic setup. However, with Mixamo, it's often broken with the smaller bones as well. So click on Show Advanced, and you'll see all the individual bones for all the individual fingers. And this is usually broken as well. So we have to go through all of these and link them up. This is the most boring bit in the world. I hate doing this. But never mind, it needs to be done. I have to do it once and it's fine. So index 01 L is left index 01. Index 2, index 3. Middle finger 1, 2, 3. Hello everyone, sorry, I'm not looking at the text chat at the moment because I'm busy doing this monotonous bollocks. 3. There we go. Pinky 1, 2, 3. Ring finger, which is here. And thumb 2 and thumb 3. Lower arm twist and upper arm twist in mixed mode do not exist. So you could do so lower arm twist left, just do left forearm, and upper arm we do left arm. I don't think you maybe can set none to these. Yeah, let's set these to none. Save confusion. So turn that off and turn that off. Index R. Oh, wrong one. Middle one. Pinky 1. Pinky 2. And pinky 3. Ring 1. 1. Ring 2. And ring 3. No, what's happened there? Ring 2 and ring 3. There we go. Thumb out. We're almost done. Obviously, if you've made your own mesh and skeletons, you don't ever have to do this because, well, you don't, unless you're borrowing animations somewhere else. But most of the time, professional studios don't have to worry about this bit because they've made all their own animations. So calf twist, we don't have anything for that. Left ball of the foot. I don't think we have left toe. We'll go left toe base. That's closest to that. The ball of your foot is like the opposite of your heel, I think. So don't need a twist for the leg. Or there. Right toe base, correct. Turn off that twist. And IKs, we don't have any IKs. So all these can be nunned. Plus. Okay. Now to save my headache, I'm going to save this. Because otherwise, if it goes wrong, I have to do it all over again. So I'll leave this in my character folder, like so. So, all these, I don't know why you have 3 bones in your thumbs. It's broken. It's whatever it is. But yes, once you've done that part, the next job is you have to make the meshes be as accurate as possible to their shape. So at the moment, this guy here, our hero, is in a T pose, but the mannequin is what we call an A pose. So you have to make your tie pose, this thing, your T pose, into an A pose. So if to click on the bones here, a bit easier if I can actually see them. So let's change that to all, like so. And I'm going to rotate that down. Oh, not that one. This bone. 1, 2, 3. 40 degrees going to be enough. Have a look. Yeah. Okay, so he's got his thumb pointing out, and he's got his thumb pointing out, but his arm's bent a little bit. So let's bend our hero's forearm out a little bit too. Like so. And we need to match that exactly on the other side as well. And there we have it. Okay, so these should have been a very similar pose to each other. Okay, so once you've got them in a pose, you need to go to modify pose and say use current pose, and that should save this pose as its main pose, hopefully. Click save up here, and we'll save the mannequin up here. And then if we go to our anime starter pack, and let's find some animations in here, and we're going to retarget this animation to a different skeleton. So let's go for idle and walk. Let's do a walk first. Actually, let's do idle whilst we're here. I want it on a hip. So we have this one, I think. So we'll right click on that, and up top you've got retarget anim assets. And if you've done anything correctly, you click on this, yep, and you'll see the other skeleton appear. And you click on that, and it should show there, but it's not. Never mind. We'll choose what folder it goes into. We'll go into character, and we'll click retarget and see what happens there. So here's the new animation. Let's see how that looks. Let's turn my bones off so I don't have to see them. So although he's in the ground, he's pretty alright. Looking not too bad actually. Cool. So we've successfully managed to retarget that animation to that different skeleton. So now I can go to the other animations and do whatever ones I want. So we've got an idle there. Let's do a walk and run. Walk forwards, rifle, not iron sights. Is that all we got? Just iron sights. Okay, what we could do, if we're dealing with just iron sights here, what we can do is we can do some montage and blending with slots and stuff. So we take the legs off this, but the top half of the idol. We'll give that a shot. Just retarget this. Choose skeleton, choose the folder, character, and retarget. Again, they're in the floor. I don't know why he's in the floor, but there's the walk. So I just don't want him in iron sights. It looks weird. He's not a soldier. He's a dude. So what we may try and do is make it so it blends the idol. Oh, that's got a little nod to it, hasn't it? Alright, we'll leave that as is because otherwise it may look too weird. Let's do the other animations for the walk. So I've got walk backwards. I want that. Retarget. That. Change character. Okay. Retarget. Go back here. And we need left and right as well. So strafing. What if I can do both at the same time? Let's have a look. Duplicate. There. There. Retarget. Yeah, there you go. So there's all my animations. Let's tidy up this folder because I can get messy quick. So materials. textures, and that'll be a lot of this. So that all that can go in the material folder, and then all of this can go in the texture folder. Let's make an animation folder here too. So new folder, animations, and this can all go in there. Cool. Okay, so we've successfully retargeted the animations of the thing. Doom Lead, the ability system, the one that Unreal does, I don't know if it does automatically replicate. I doubt it. My one won't. You'll have to just set it up yourself manually. Not too difficult. You just have to make sure you set up replicated functions. There's a lot of documentation about it. It's how to do replicated stuff. Anyway, right. So let's get back to this. So I've got idle, hit on the hip, walk with the eye in sight, and so forth. So now we need to make an animation blueprint for this. So let's make an animation blueprint. And we need to use right skeleton, so tire skeleton it was called. And this one we'll call we'll call him Tire still. Tire's a decent name. We'll call him Tire Anim. James Jocelyn, why not just export UE4 mannequin with its skeleton and parent that to the character in 3D software and then use animations without retargeting? Because that is doing exactly the same job as what this is doing, just without taking it out, back in, out, back in. It's not much different. You could use it. You could definitely do that like that if you want. Same solution to the same problem. So final animation pose. We need to. Let's do a state machine. And we'll call this one locomotion or movement. Movement. And this chap here, we're going to have a blend space handling its idle walk animation. So add state idle / walk. And we need to make a blend space for this. So we might need to make a couple blend spaces. So first of all, let's make the one for the walking. So it's a 2-dimensional blend space. So we can go tire walk BS. And this one is going to have 2 axes. You have a horizontal and a vertical. And you basically plot your animations on here. So you put idle at the... Where do you want to put it? So I'm getting confused now. Let's just rename this stuff. It makes it a lot easier. So this one would be direction. And it's going to go from 0 to 180. No, minus 180, sorry, to 180. So when it's 0, it's going to go from the bottom here. And because this vertical one is going to be speed. And it's going from 0 to 600. Wow, let's see how fast my character was going. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. See what is walk speed set to. So yeah, 600. So speed can go from 0 to 600, and direction is going to go between minus 180 and 180. So let's put the idle in at 0, with direction facing like so. Don't worry about him going in the floor. We'll fix that in the actual character itself. So once we've got that, we want to do walk backwards on the top left and right. Walk forwards there, left. I think it's that way around. Let's have a look. And you drag this green pin, and you can see the movement. What's that looking like? Is he going left there? Yeah. Cool. So this is a blend space. So it blends between different animations based on a couple of variables in this case, direction and speed, which we'll plug into it. Okay, we'll click save and close that. Open up your idle walk in your state machine by double clicking, and you can drag that blend space onto it, like so. So James, retargeting the jump animation to mix my skeleton and the stretching the legs was horrendous. I matched the pose but still had bad results. That's where you have to make sure you're going to the advanced bones, because you may have like left the toes attached to something else. So make sure you go into the advanced mode, and also that you clear the none in the twists, because the mixed mouse skeletons don't have twist bones, unlike the mannequin does. Later, how would you go about making a campaign story mode? You just make loads of different linear one anyway. You just make the level with cutscenes in it and so forth, and an end point, and when the player reaches that end point, load up the next level, or load up the next cutscene, which loads up another level, whatever you like. It's not too difficult to do a linear one. So this one's going to be a float, and that's speed. Drag that into there. And we'll make one for direction too. And plug that into there. Click compile, and we're done with that. So go into your event graph, and we need to now fill these variables with data. So try get pawn owner. First of all, we're going to check if that is valid or not. And if it is valid, it's going to crack on. Once it is cracking on, we're going to get the movement component of it. And get the velocity. Velocity is direction and speed mixed into one. So velocity here we can get, just type in vector length. The length of the vector is the speed. So speed will go into there, set speed, and hook that up. Compile. Okay. Let's see if that works first of all. So let's go into our top-down character and viewport. I'm going to change the mesh that's being used here. Use tie, and I want to give him that animation blueprint. And we should be doing something. Let's have a look. Did I compile this? Did I not hook that up? I did not hook that up. There we go. Cool. Right, so this dude I can now offset up. Oh, turn off snap. And we'll make sure that his feet are at the bottom of that capsule. Like so. So let's see how the speed works in this case. So idle, and if I push forward, you can see him moving. Push backwards. Nothing happens. I think it's just going to be still using 0. Still using the forward motion. Yeah. So to get the direction now, let's work on that problem. Yeah, James, yeah, clear the twist bones. That'll help you out. All in all games, do you do contract work? Not particularly, because I do have a full-time job and a father and this channel. I rarely get any time to do anything else. I do a little bit here and there for particular people who have messaged me beforehand, but by and large, not so much. Depends on what the job is and how long it is. Yeah. So let's try and work out how to get the direction and see if I can remember how to do that. So the direction coming from this is got to be a value between 180 and minus 180. So that would be the yaw. So I need to get rotation. No, rotate. What is it? Rotate. Make rot from X. I think it's from X. And then from there, split. And I think we just need the yaw. In this case. Oh, let's test it out. It may go tits up. Okay, so if I push forward there, so the animation is definitely different. I think we might have just done it. Okay, so if I push left on my keyboard, it changes the animation. Okay, I think we're good. Over there. So obviously animations will change based on what weapon you're holding, because some weapons will be throwable and others not. So let's get the throwing ones. I don't know if the animation start pack comes with throwing ones. If not, we are going to have to get them from Mixamo and retarget them. It looks like we're going to have to get from Mixamo and retarget. Okay. So we're going to go to throw. And most of the time you start throwing a grenade-like weapon. So we just need to throw. You would see a grenade. We're only looking at the top half here because the bottom half is going to be replaced with legs moving. I quite like that. It's quite simple. His hand clips through his head a little bit, but what if we can change that? This changes that. Nah, not so much. I think that's just a thing you have to live with a character with a big head. Unless I get like an underarm throw. See, the animations on mixed mode aren't the greatest usually. No. I just don't want him biting it out. That's fine. I think we may have to just go for the one that clips through his head a little bit. It's a minor problem. It's not a big issue. Okay. So I'm going to download that. And we don't need the skin, so you can leave the skin out if you want. Click download. Okay. Drag that into Unreal. Not there though. Let's drag that into here. And import. Right, so the skeleton is going to use a tire skeleton because that's the same skeleton that's been used in its entire time. So if I click import now. Yep. Hopefully this will work without having to retarget nothing. Hojo, thank you for supporting me and subscribing to the channel. Out there. Key. So let's see if that's import that in okay. Yeah. Cool. We'll take that. Right, so as I said, we don't want its bottom half of the legs because most of the time he's going to be walking and whilst throwing. So I'm going to right click on that and go create anim montage. And we're going to go throw montage. And in here, we're going to change what slot we're moving it on. Now, the default slot is where all animations can be played. Think of slots like channels. So the channel that is being played will play whatever animations in that channel. So if we make essentially another channel, we can then combine it with another one. It's hard to explain, it's easy to show. So to do that, we need to go to slot manager. So window, slot manager. This little tab here. Click add slot, and we're going to call this one upper body. Usually you define it by sections of the body. So if you want to do arm, a particular leg, or if you can do that as well, it doesn't really matter too much. But I want just upper body one. So I'm going to change my slot I'm using here to upper body. You see it go back T-pose. The slight bug is that it keeps the old animation in there. You just need to delete the old animation and then put it back in again. And it will now have the animation on upper body slot. Click save, and let's see what that plays like. Okay, not too bad. So it takes a bit too long, I think, to get to the throw part. But we'll see how it runs with this, and we may have to clip the animation. For now, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so with the throw montage now in use, in our anim here, if you go back to your anim graph, we can now use a slot to play that through here. So if you just type in slot, you'll see slot, default slot. Click on it, and you can change it to use the upper body slot. Now we've just played the movement into there and then into there. It won't work, okay? So what we need to do is, because we're combining these two together by a bone, so we need to take this and cache it. Actually store where the animation data is coming out of it. And we'll call this one movement cache. And then we're going to call that cache up. Just type in movement cache. And you'll see use cache to pose. So we go from there and we plug that into upper body slot. We then want to blend that with the original animation. So this one, just copy and paste. So we're combining this with this. So then to do that, we want to do blend bone. You want layered blend per bone. And this thing will allow you to blend two animations together from a bone point. So from the might as well bank. So when you drag, it will take it from the hierarchical bone. So if you do a bone, it'll do all the other bones connected to that bone. So what we need to do is plug that into there. Click on layer blend per bone. Go to a layer setup with it selected over here. And we're going to do branch. And we want to split it at a certain bone name. So the bone we want to split it by, because it's upper body, we want to split it by a spine point. We can use spine, that one there, or that one there. We'll go for the first one, so it has to be exactly the same as this. So my blueprint, I'm going to go in here and type in spine. And now I can plug that in to there. So when that animation gets called, this slot will activate, okay? And it will now blend those two animations together. Click compile and cancel that. So let's go to my character and look at where I'm throwing something. So that would be on weapons probably. Going blind. Weapons. There we go. And we want soda can. Okay, so when eventually projectile spawn soda can, we also want to get the characters mesh and play a montage on it. So let's just do the play montage first here. And we need to get the skeletal mesh component from it. So let me double check if I did put on weapon parent. No, I didn't. Okay. So on weapon parent, I'm going to go on event begin play, and we're going to get, I always forget which one it is. Owner. Have a look. Owner, get the owner's actor, use point nope. You get parent, actor, and yep. So begin play, get parent actor, cast to top down character. And then we're going to store that as a reference. So promote to variable player character. And that's on the parent of the weapons. So when I go back to my soda can here, I can right click here and get player reference. Should be able to get player reference. Why can't I get player reference? Oh, player character. Oh, let's get player character, that's why. Player character. There we go. And then from that, I can get its mesh. Oop, plug that in. Choose the montage. And leave as is. Compile, and let's have a look at that. So let's switch to my soda cans. So I'm in the soda pack now. So it works, it's just obviously a bit delayed. So what I can do is make it so it throws the actual can out on a notify. So on my animation, I can set up a notify on here. So if I go down to the bottom of this, you see it notifies? I want to find the point of where I want to launch the can. So we'll go for there. About there. And then we go right click on the notify section, go add notify, and go montage notify. Click on that, and we're going to change the name of this here to throw. Yeah, just throw, leave it at that. Save that, and back to our soda can. So on play montage, that notify will happen on here, notify begin, okay? So from there, that's when this bit's going to happen. So I'm just going to copy this over, or cut it rather, and put this at the end on that notify begin. Okay, let's see how that works. So now it shouldn't launch the soda can straight away. It should wait for the animation to get to a point. Which it does. Sweet. Okay, so that's cool. Let me have a look at chat for a second. I looked at chat for a second. Sahi Shevnov, thank you for your kind words. How about making C++ tutorials for UE4? Eventually, I will get to that point. At the moment, there's so much content in Blueprint stuff, and that's kind of a larger audience. So I'm sticking to Blueprints for the time being, but eventually I will get round to C++ tutorials. So Zante, yep. Yeah, I guess that could work too. Yeah, it's just, again, another way of doing the same sort of issues and things. Hi, Alex. Thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. So far we've worked on animation stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean, Zante. I got you. Rather than doing it, you just drag it back onto it. You totally can do that. Yeah, I guess you could. I haven't tried it, but I guess that would work. But solutions all the same. Okay, so let's do some modeling and particle effects for our soda can, because at the moment it looks kind of boring. Just get Maya up, and let's do particle effects and soda can. Now we're going to keep it quite low poly and basic for numerous reasons. One, I'm lazy, and two, it'll be quite small in the screen, so I don't have to worry about it being like up close and super high res or anything like that. It'll be quite small in the screen. It's not on for long, and it's moving. People are not going to see that much detail, so you can get away with murder. Hi JB, thanks for joining us tonight. Now I think the soda cans in the original game were red, I believe. Let me just quickly Google. I can't see any pictures of it. I think they were red. We'll do red. We're in Maya now. It wants to load up. Okay, so in Maya, we're going to create It's still loading, bear with it. Okay, can I do stuff yet? Is it caught up? Come on. Been a bit slow. Maybe because I've got Unreal open as well. Oh, there we go. Right, let's make a quick soda can. As I said, we don't want to spend too much time on it because it is slow moving and my laziness. So make the radius of it quite big. So we're exaggerating a bit so we can actually see it. Let's go to a radius of, let's say 20. We can always change it later on. And a height of 35. Maybe a bit taller than that. 50. Sure. Now we don't need that many edges on the subdivisions, so let's turn it down to 8. Yeah, maybe enough. And I'll leave the root in the middle for this because we don't need to spawn it on the ground or anything like that. So I'm going to go set all these edges here and go to mesh display, soften, and now it looks more rounded, even though it's not. So once you've got that, do we need to do much more to this? I don't know, it's just getting thrown in the air, isn't it? I mean, we could, oh, I don't know. Let's do a very basic indentation here. So I'm going to extrude that and scale that in a little bit. Extrude again. There. And bring that down a little bit there. Oh, that would do, surely. I'll tell you what, we'll also make a little hole for the drink. There we go. Very basic model. As I said, it's going to be so small and flying through the air. You're not going to have to worry about it too much. So let's unwrap this basic model. So I'm going to select all these faces on the side here. UV editor. Let's see what we're working with. Okay, it's not too bad. We can leave that as is, I think. Yeah, actually, we can just leave that all as it is. So I'm just going to bring that in a little bit. I don't like my shells being too close together because you do get some funky issues. Let's just put that all over here, actually. And this one, we're going to do... Yeah, it's best to separate your shells as best you can when UV mapping. I quite like that. We can leave that as. Then we're going to Photoshop. Hopefully the laptop doesn't crash. Oh yeah, that's because I've reinstalled it. I'm gonna wait for this one to load up. Whilst we're here, we're also going to do the mesh for the particle effect as well. So, keeping the low poly sort of style, a good way of making a low poly particle is using a geosphere, which comes like this. They call it, what do they call it? A platonic solid. It's a geosphere. I don't know why I get so funky about it. And make that a certain size. And we'll make that radius of 20 again. Don't know what it looks like, by the way. It looks like this. Okay, very basic. But that'll be our particle effect. Oh, I really hope it doesn't crash. Okay, so let's do very basics again. It's so small, you can get away with absolute murder. Let's go 64 by 64 and click create. Now my UV editor for this, I had, oh, if I select it first would help. You have I have the mesh going down side here and the tops and bottoms there. I'm just going to find out which side is the top and which is the top. There you go. So that's the top half of the thing now, which is good. So this side's going to be shiny little metal, and this is going to be shiny red metal. So in here, get rid of that background, don't want that. And half of this, do half like that. I'm going to get a gradient tool out and give it some fake gradiency. And go basic. Change that to red, darker red. And from here, I'm going to go top to bottom. You get that effect. And then another layer, I'm going to just put in a silver. Okay, so there's my texture for my can. So I'm going to merge these two layers together. And that's going to be my can D, or diffuse, or albedo, however you want to call it. I'm then going to duplicate, no, not duplicate that, I'll just make another layer. And, well, that's all going to be metal in it. Yeah, we'll leave it as we can get away with that, just all being all metal. So I'm going to save and export that out. So save as. Yeah, Zappa, we're doing it in 3D. The original was 2D, so we're turning it into a 3D game. Just chuck it on desktop for now. I'll do an actual folder for it at some point. And we're going to go soda can texture, or just T. And click OK. I'm just going to close Photoshop because it might get a bit too taxing with too much going on. So in my Maya, I'm just going to put it into here. So when I import it in, it comes with it. Open up Hypershade. Going to create a new material. We'll do simple Lambert. Doesn't really matter too much because we're going to change it all in Unreal anyway. Color in there. Choose the file. And the file is my soda can. I don't know, it's a Photoshop file. I don't think it's going to work with this. Oh no, it does. Cool. So with that done, close that. And it should be showing. Oh, we'll give it that material, that's why. There you go. Done. Cool. So I'm going to just export that out. Export selection. And we'll actually export it all. Because we need that geosphere as well. Export all. And again, I've just put my desktop for now. Soda can. FBX export. And click. Choose smooth mesh as well. Export all. And let's go back to Unreal. So my weapon for this, let's add our soda can and choose it. There it is. And I should get all of them. So I want no, not skeletal mesh, no. Yeah, import all. Okay, so there's my soda can. There's the texture. There's the two materials that came with it. So this thing should be already textured. Okay. And this thing should have no texture. Right, that's going to be a particle, so we'll work on that in a minute. So on my soda can texture, I'm just going to give it a bit of shininess because it's a bit of metal. So I'm going to add a metallic value and going to add a roughness value. So the metallic value, I'm going to give it as equal to 1 because it is metal. And the roughness value, I'm going to give it as 0. Let's do 5 and see what that looks like. Hit apply. Let's see if this looks like a tin can. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. That'll do us. Again, it's on the screen for like literally a few frames. So that'll do. Right, let's chuck that into the projectile here. And change the mesh to that soda can. Like so. Ooh. Just rename this one soda can mesh. And this is going to be particle mesh. Okay, so the particle mesh, that has this material, so I'm going to go and give this material particle matte. And this particle is going to change color and do other things on it too. So I want to hook this up with the settings that allow that to happen. So if you put in particle color, you can hook your color to your base color and your opacity if you want to your opacity there. And we'll click apply. Let's actually change this to translucent. There you go. Main reason why is because our particle may will fade out, so we need to use opacity at some point. So that set up with the particle, we are going to now work on a particle system for our soda splash. So I'm going to go new particle system and I'm going to call it soda can PS for particle system and open it up. So I want this to be, first of all, a mesh. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go into my emitter here. I will be doing a full series on how Cascade works. I'll do one for Cascade and Niagara. But we've got a viewport, which you can see the final image there. You can see the emitters. These are the various particles that will be emitted out. The details of each module inside a emitter. And a graph curve editor to mix with things. Hi Dola TV. Thanks for joining us on Twitch. Adam Sweeney, I'm working on, well, what we've done so far, we've added a character and animations for this character. And we are doing a throw. At the moment he's throwing a soda can out, but we're going to make it do a splash effect. Could do it actually being a bit bigger, that. But we'll do the particle effect first. So the splash for the particle effect, we're going to make it a mesh. So go type data and do mesh data. Click on mesh data and choose our particle. I'm going to change the color of my background so it's not completely black. And zoom out, and there you see the mesh. So the initial size at the moment for this would be massive, I feel. To get a space idea for how much space this takes out, you can put it into the world. You can see it just takes up loads of space. So initial size here, we can change that first of all to use a constant value of 111. Hit save, and you can see it inside the world. That's a bit more like it. Okay. So with that, we're also going to change its velocity. So its initial velocity, it's going to be start value, and at the moment it's shooting it more upright. Okay, but I want mine to go outwards more. So you're going to change X and Y to be higher value than the Z. So let's just switch them around. So on the X, I'm going to go 100. And on the Y, 100. And on here, I'm going to go 10. Then on here, I'm going to go minus 100. Minus 100. And do, let's do 0. So you get like a radial sort of push out. Okay. Next, I want to change it from a rate of stream. So at the moment it's streaming a particle out. I want it to be a burst. So if you go to your spawn, I'm going to turn rate down to 0. Because I don't want rate. Then scroll down to burst and add burst list. And the count I want to do on here, let's do 20. Yep, that looks good to me. And then on my required up here, I'm going to scroll down and you'll see duration and you see emitter loops. 0 means it will go on forever. So as you see, it's bursting constantly. So if I change that to 1, it'll burst and then say completed at the bottom. That means it's only going to do it once. Okay. So if I drag that into the world now, you'll see it burst and that's it. Okay, so that's going to be our solar can sort of effect. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty good so far. Let's have a look, see what it looks like if we put it into the game. So the solar can, let's go to our projectile. And we need to make it so when it hits the floor, it knows what it's doing. So on destroy actor, before it does that, let's do a particle system. So you can go particle system, and we're going to spawn emitter at location. The emitter is going to be our soda can. Location is hit location, and leave the rest of it as is. And let's see how this looks. So change the soda can, put it out. Oof. Oof. Not too bad. So it's a bit too slow, I feel like. Let's speed it up a bit. So I'm going to change the velocity. And let's change that to 200. 200. Minus 200. And minus 200. So now it'll go further. So if I change the lifetime, let's see how far it goes, because you do want it to do area effect damage. Okay. So the next trick is get so that it damages the enemies and blows them up. Hi Dola, you started your first game dev course last night. Oh, well done. Trying to find some streams to learn from too. Yeah, join out my stream, and if you haven't yet, check out my YouTube channel as well. Just search my name in YouTube, Ryan Laley, and you'll find my channel filled with stuff, with new videos each week, and every weekend a stream. Okay, so the soda can particle system is playing out just fine. We've got now to do it so it deals damage. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to create a new blueprint class. And actually, no. I wonder if we could just do this. I haven't tested this before. Let's have a look. So if I do radial damage, yep, apply radial damage. I want to then right, the origin for this is going to be the hit location. Base damage would be just 1. Damage radius. Now the radius for this matters, so let's do 100 and see how it turns out. That's quite wide, I think, but we'll see. Do full damage, and that'll do, I think. And click compile. Then on the zombies, on the enemies, and go to enemy parent. We want to do a radial damage event. Hold on, a bit of slow down. There you go. So got event destroyed, and we're going to go radial damage. Yep, event radial damage. So it receives radial damage of any kind. We're going to tell it to destroy itself. So it will then call the destroyed event. So on here we'll go destroy actor. So calling that will then call this function and do all this stuff. Add score to the player. So let's see if we can now get this working with our soda cans. Nope. No. Okay. Is it at all causing radial damage? Let's do a print string here. I haven't used radial damage before, so I'm not too sure. There's an alternative way of doing it though. So if this doesn't work, we'll do the alternative. Okay, let's do the alternative. So I'm going to go blueprint class, actor, and go damage sphere. And in here, we're going to do a sphere collision. And the sphere radius for this is going to be 100. And on event graph, on begin play, we're going to get all the overlapping actors of enemies, parent, and then for each of these, we're going to tell this thing to destroy them. Destroy actor. Then we're going to click on the class defaults and scroll down to see lifespan and change that to 0.1. So it literally just flashes up. To see this working, I'm going to change the sphere to be not hidden in game. So then on my weapon, on my projectile, rather than deal the apply radial damage, I'm going to tell it to I'm going to tell it to spawn spawn actor from class and tell it to spawn one of those enemy the damage spheres. Split this, and the location is going to go into a transform location. So now we should now see these little damage spheres appear when we see it flashed up there. So now if I hit it with one of these, wait, destroy yourself, damn it. Not flash up again. The first one flashed up, but not the second. Why is, oh no, it did there. Now let's see this in action again. I think maybe it's just too small, maybe. Let's change the damage sphere to be a radius of 300. Part of that. Okay. Don't seem to be, maybe 0.1 seconds is too quick. No, it doesn't make sense why it would be too quick. Let's just change it to 1 second. Okay, so it definitely was inside the circle there. So why is that not working? Get overlapping actors. Let's check that out. It should all work. There's the hello. So now let's do it on the loop body here. Weird. Get overlapping actors. Generate overlap events. Overlap all dynamic. It's all fine there. Don't know what's going on there. Give it that a bit now. Don't do that. Should check out my collision presets, make sure it all works. Block. Okay. I'm going to change this to overlap all. See what that does. Oh, it's custom or static on a block. It fell through the floor, I think. Yeah, the enemies are a character type, which in turn is a pawn type. Don't know why it's not registering it. Tick. Maybe that was that it. Why is this not working? Probably something stupid. So generate hits only works, Kim, when it's physics-based object. This is not a physics-based object. We're not doing hits, we're doing overlaps. This is set to overlap everything, so... ain't the foggiest what's going wrong. Not too sure. No. Hit a blockade at the moment. I don't know why this won't register it. Dynamic type. And overlap everything. Let's change this just to everything. So just change it to an actor. And we should take to destroy anything it hits, regardless if it's a thing or not. Okay, so it's not doing it to anything. So something severely wrong with the damage sphere thing. Okay, right. Okay. Let's try this thing instead. So sphere position is actor position, actor location. Sphere radius is 300, and the class type is an enemy parent. Oh no. Okay, make array. I just want to find pawns. Compile. Oh, there you go. Oh, that worked there. Cool. Right. Neat. Okay, so that kind of works. Cameron, you're a student from game design and wondering what a multi-dimensional array is, and if so, how would it be used? Multi-dimensional arrays. So an array. Let me get Word up. I can it's easy to show in Word. So an array is make it nice and big. So you might have an array called my array, for example, and you may have it set to like index 1. Okay, that's what we call a single index array. It's not multi-dimensional. It's just one-dimensional. Okay, that's a one-dimensional. And my array 1, 3 is what we call a multi-dimensional array, and we typically would have used them for if you were doing like a grid, for example. So if you think about the first one as rows and this one as columns, and you could use multi-dimensional array in that sense. However, nowadays we typically use maps, but this is how you could do a multi-dimensional array. In Unreal, to do a multi-dimensional array, you put an array inside of an array, essentially. Yeah, and that's all there is to it. It's just basically having an array inside of an array. I haven't used one for a long time though. I haven't had much use for it. Okay, let's make the solar can a bit bigger because that's a bit too small. Yeah, let's make that bigger. Cool. Right, I'm gonna make it look like it's tumbling through the sky as well. So on here, I'm gonna add a rotator movement to it. And rotation rate, I'm just gonna give it a random value between all of this. So I'm gonna go 5, 5, 5. And let's see if that's enough. Maybe I have to do a higher number. Let's have a look. Hey, that's what I wanted. Why is that being weird? How's it going off like that? We're working on my other one. Very weird settings that I forgot to tick off. No, alright, weird. Why is that not working? Let's just do it in here. So 180, 0. There we go. That's better. Just need to be a high number. Just do 180 there and 180 there. So now, when he goes flying through the air, it'll look like it's actually been tossed. Off. Yeah, that's cool. Pick up that neighbour. Take the O3 out. Nice. Get that neighbour. And there's the exit. Done. Okay, so I think we'll end it there. So we've done quite a lot tonight. So what we managed to do, oh, sorry, I'm just reading chat. So what we managed to do was we've added the character model to the game, and we set up the animations for the character model. So he has a forward and a run, left and right strafing, and we've also done the model for the soda can, and made it so it can kill things, and we made the particle effect. It's a very basic particle effect. We can add more emitters to it to make it look a bit more fancier. But for our purposes, that should do. And that should do it for tonight. Thank you for everyone coming by and watching us go through this. Next week, we are going to do another case study. So next week's case study, I don't know what game we'll do yet. We'll have a look, I'll have a think about it in the week. But if you have any suggestions, please let us know in chat what kind of game you would like me to look at next week. And the way it works is that we look at a game, and then the following week after that, we do a tutorial series based on that game. Last time we done Super Mario Galaxy, so if you want to check out the stuff we learned from that, you can check that out tonight as well after we've finished up here. If you missed the start of this live stream, don't worry. The archive of it will be available to all my patrons immediately after the stream, or you can wait 2 weeks and it'll be released publicly. Other than that, thank you very much for all your support. It's been a wonderful year so far, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more with you next year. Content wise, what's coming out until the end of the year, we've got what we got. So just started doing the shopkeeper NPC stuff publicly, so each week new episodes of that were coming out. The whole series is available to all patrons right now. Meanwhile, patrons have swimming episodes, so how to do swimming in third person, and they're going to have the whole series of that, no problem, probably by the end of November. And as well as their voted on video, which was a widget, in-game widgets, and how to do widgets as like what we call diegetic widgets. So do like number pads for doors that have number pads on them. What else we got coming? Plus some others, little ones. And I've got something special coming for Christmas, hopefully, for finishing in time. So yeah, check that out around Christmas time. Thanks very much for joining us, everyone. Other than that, have a great night, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.